attention, boys? I'm Teddy, I'm one of the hosts of Inner Space on the Space Channel. And, oh, thanks, Mom, appreciate that. Fan Expo is without question my favorite weekend of the year. I know you guys are having an amazing time too, and it's about to get even better for you. This is going to be a really, really wonderful panel. I'm so happy and stoked to get to introduce this guest. She is a star of stage and screen, both the big screen and the small screen, the theaters. She's had rave reviews in productions like A Streetcar Named Desire. You've seen her in films like House of Mirth and The Last King of Scotland, and of course, so many amazing roles on television, including in Hannibal, The Fall. Fans of The Fall too? Yeah. And of course, as Special Agent Dana Scully on the Expo. Please welcome Gillian Anderson!
Given out by Chris, signed by Chris, David, and me. And I'm going to auction it at the end for charity.
Awesome.
What was the disappointment in it? The fact that you have to pay for it? Or you thought I was going to give it out to all of you, cut it into little pieces. You get Hannibal over here.
They were thinking about how much money they had.
Slice it up, right?
So I want to mention off the top as well, I'm just going to ask a few questions, and then Fan Expo is all about you, it's all about the fans. So I'm going to open up to the floor for questions. It's all about you. It's all about the fans and Gillian. Stefano, can you put up your hand, sir? This is Stefano in the middle aisle. So if you have a question for Gillian, which would be awesome, you can line up behind Stefano. And if you could keep it to questions about Gillian's roles, if you could refrain from asking for a selfie or a hug, that would be really, really awesome. We appreciate that.
Or my hand in marriage.
Or a hand in marriage. Love it. So right off the top, I want to ask you, obviously we're very excited with your roles in The Fall and Hannibal, and we're also very much looking forward to January 2016 with the X-Files. So before we talk about what we can expect or what you can tell us, can you take us back to first getting that role in 2002? How you heard about it, what you thought about Scully, maybe the first time you met her on paper, and why you wanted to do it so badly? 93, sorry. It ended in 02 though, so I'm halfway.
Yeah, that was a long time ago. I don't think you were born yet. In 1993, I remember I was in flannel pajamas when I read the episode, and the walls were lime green, not my choice, and I wasn't in the habit of auditioning for TV. It was the second thing that I may be lying, but I think it was the second thing that I auditioned for. The first thing I did a guest role in something called Class of '96 that lasted for a few minutes. And that was the only other TV thing that I'd done. And oddly, in that, there was a plot point of my character in that reading Moby Dick. I don't know, did anybody see that episode? No. But my character in that read Moby Dick, which then, of course, becomes a plot point in the X-Files, and then I did a TV series, Moby Dick, years later. Anyway. So back to the flannel pajamas. I was just going in for an audition. That's what it was, and then it turned into being asked back, and then it turned into being asked to network, which I've never done before, which is a terrifying experience for every actor to sit in a hallway with the other actors who are auditioning for the same role, and you are released when they want you to be released. So you get called in, somebody else goes in, they come out with a smile on their face, you think she got it, and you are there for hours. And apparently, as the story goes, that Chris wanted me the first day for Scully. The network did not. I know. Poor me. And so I went away, didn't have a job, and then media, I was called back for my second network appearance, and they had flown in other actresses from New York, who I knew from New York, because I just moved to LA from New York, who I used to audition for theater with. And so it was Cynthia Nixon and Jill Hennessy, and all these girls that I knew, who then obviously later went on to do extraordinary things. But they were all sitting in the hallway with me going in and auditioning. And I made this really, but then these, okay, so I was driving my boyfriend's white convertible Mustang at the time, and before I left on the second audition, the casting director pulled me over to the side very naughtily and told me that I had the job. But I had already offered to give Jill a ride back to her hotel. That was very uncomfortable. Right. So how do you think it went? I don't know. Just fingers crossed. But anyway, did I even answer the question?
That was great. That was great. And how about around?
I have a tendency to run off with the mouth. Most of the time it don't make sense, so.
How about a round of applause for Chris Carter for fighting for Gillian and how awesome job. So glad. Let's open it up to the floor and Stefano. Hello, first question. Hi there.
Hello.
Hello.
I was wondering whether you personally think.
Sorry, what are you wearing?
This is what we're supposed to wear in 2015, according to Back to the Future 2.
Oh, is that I was so excited to show my little boys 6 and 8 Back to the Future 1, and then I put in 2, and I was like, oh, it is so inappropriate. 3's alright, but 2, yes, I can see. So do you have a hoverboard? That hasn't even been invented yet. Can you believe it? It's 2015.
Yeah, I'm wanting one.
Yeah. Can I just see? Can you turn around for me? All right. 2015. All right. Sorry. What was your question?
I was just wondering if you personally think that Scully was actually abducted, or whether it was the government.
She had been abducted by the government?
Hello there.
We might find out in season 10. Might. A little bit. Anybody have a glasses thing to clean? My skirt is not doing the job, and I can't see anything, but they're filthy.
I see several hands. Oh, there's a young lady.
Obsessed with these things. What do they used to call them? They used
Oh,
to call them
there's several.
Boys used to be obsessed with these things. I forgot. You came from all the way over there? That's a nice one, though. Thank you. So is the other one. They used to want to sleep with these things. They're like mini blankets.
A bunch of them in fashion?
No, they had a name for them. They called them squinchies or something. I don't know. One of them at age 2 made up a name, and they became obsessed with them. Anyway, that is completely beside the point. Who's, do we have another question?
Hi, Diane.
Hello.
So the Expo started airing in South Africa when I was 13, and it was the first time there was a strong, independent, intellectual woman
In the entire universe.
Yes. And Dana Scully actually inspired me to become a scientist. So I
cool.
wanted to say thank you for that.
Cool, congratulations. Do you do that for a living now?
Yeah.
And what area of science are you in?
Molecular biology and space applications.
Hot damn! Congratulations.
Thank you. The show
You
was...
get paid a shitload for that, don't you? One of the most important people in the world.
We need to get paid more.
start a campaign today. All right.
But the show was incredibly scientifically accurate, so I was wondering how much did you
It's just because my education was so good that it always just came to me to say, Gillian, is this right? Does this look right to you? So sorry. What was your question?
Were you given scientific research by Chris Carter or the writers?
You know, they hire very, very smart people for that kind of stuff. We've usually got scientists and people in medicine. We have there's a lot to do with hospitals in season 10, and so there's a lot of medical jargon and a lot of doctors standing around to tell us what the heck we're doing. And I've never said heck in my life. And what we're saying. Yes. So no. Yes. Experts like yourself. Bye.
How gratifying for you is it to hear when young women come up to you and say that you helped influence them in terms of getting into STEM fields or just about pursuing?
Well, it's not me. I mean, it's you know, it's Chris Carter or the foresight and the genius to come up with this character at this particular time when there was such a need for it. You know, I can do that well, and that's what I get hired for often, is to play the smart woman or the boss or whatever. But my brain is very small.
Hello.
I don't even want to follow that comment.
Other things that are big, but my brain is small.
Guess officers might drive me away when I say what I want to say. Anyways, so I flew all the way from Washington, D.C.
Cool.
Yes. So my question has nothing to do with any of your roles, but you did a video for Cheetah Conservation Fund.
I did.
Yeah. But, so I'm part of the groups that provides them with the dogs to save cheetahs.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
You mean working with her?
Yeah, working with her and King Gals and things. I'm in politics, but that's what I do on my free time, is to save cheetahs in Botswana, South Africa. And
Awesome.
Yeah. And so my question is, how did you, so I was like very surprised when all of a sudden someone said, she's really interested in this video. I'm like, what? So I was just wondering how you got interested in that. And then before they dragged me away, I'm supposed to ask you for a date, and you responded that, Gillian, go out with me at gmail.com.
First of all, thank you. I'm very flattered. And second of all, a friend of mine who is a fashion photographer, also in his spare time takes photographs of cats. He's obsessed with big cats. And so he travels around the world, and he met her in this organization. And remind me what her name? I've completely. The main woman, Dr. I can't remember, but it's an incredible organization, and what they've done is they've brought particular kind of wild dogs from Australia who are good at kind of reining in the cheetahs, and so they stay in particular areas and encouraging poachers not to kill them because they're going onto the farms, and so they've created this system that actually helps the farmers and helps the cheetahs to stay alive. And he asked if I would meet her, and I met her, and she asked if I would do a video, and said yes, and so that's how that happened. Thank you.
When you said doctor, somebody over there said Doctor Who, but I don't think it's Doctor Who.
No, not Dr. Close, but...
Hello there.
This is terrifying.
I'm just as scared as you are, believe me.
My question is, do you think Stella and Scully would make good partners?
Do I think, somebody asked me that at another Comic-Con about whether they would hang out. And I thought that maybe Stella would have a few things to teach Scully about drinking. But partners, as in life partners, or as in working partners?
Whichever one you want. You can
They actually might make good life partners. after dark sketch of Scully and Stella. Do you know about this site? David just introduced me to this site. That's all I'm going to say. And there was a very hot picture of Mulder and Scully after dark.
I love that. You got to tweet that Gillian Anderson just shipped Stella and Dana. That's amazing. Hello there.
Hi, hello. Okay, so my question is, if they were to do musical episodes of The X-Files, The Fall, and Hannibal, what song do you think each of your characters would sing and why?
That's the best question I've ever heard.
Well, if there was a musical version of The X-Files, Scully would sing Jeremiah Has a Bullfrog, because that's all she can sing. If Bedelia were to sing, Jesus Christ, what would she sing? Is there a song called Is That Kind of Party? Or Let's Get This Party Started? Okay, yeah, let's see Bedelia sing Pink's Let's Get This Party Started. And then Hannibal can come in and do some dance moves. And then who was Stella? Any suggestions? What? The Slash? Is he speaking English? Are you speaking English? Oh! So what was she? Sorry, I need to hear this. The Slash made Farmer to War? That's a great song. That's exactly that. That's what Stella would sing. Is the Slash made Farmer to War? Put an album out.
I'm curious how Vera, who's our sign language interpreter, just signed it. Gibberish. Other questions on the floor?
You've played so many big roles in TV shows. Which one of your characters would you like to meet?
Good questions today. She scares me. But maybe Miss Havisham. I did Miss Havisham's Great Expectations, and it would be kind of fascinating to meet her, and really weird. But yeah, thanks for asking.
Hello there.
Hi, I was just wondering how you feel about being such a strong, independent woman in the X-Files.
How do I feel about it?
Yeah.
Good question. I feel pretty cool about it, actually. How old are you? 12. Well, in the olden days, in 1993 when this started, there weren't really any strong female independent characters on television. And I'm serious. I'm not exaggerating. There weren't. And so there was Baywatch. You know what Baywatch is? What else was there at that time? I mean, it was slim pickings as far as strong. Oh, perfect. Yeah, we were around all that time. Then I'm wrong. There weren't that many, and there are a lot today. And so, Scully was one of those first characters, and I think women at the time appreciated that. They were like, oh, I see somebody that I actually recognize, because I don't usually look like that in a bikini. And so it started a trend, and so I feel very proud and grateful to have been one of the first strong independent female characters on television, and have since then been cast as more strong independent and even sometimes stronger and more independent characters on television than Scully was. So it's pretty cool to be part of that trend. Thank you. Pretty strong, independent female for getting up there in front of 8,000 people to ask the question, I would say. As a 13-year-old.
Hi.
I can't see.
Not missing much.
Oh, don't say that.
Sorry.
You're beautiful.
You know that everybody's eyes are on me. I was wondering, because you did bring a lot to Scully, like even at the very beginning of the series, Scully was walking behind Mulder, and then you were instrumental in making her walk beside him. So my question was, do you think there would be a Stella Gibson on today if it wasn't for the Scully effect?
That's a good question. I don't know. I mean, I'd have to imagine that at some point somebody else would have done it along the way. Somebody would have seen the gap and the need. So it's possible, but I can definitely see the trajectory there. But also, you know, Alan, the writer of The Fall, which is where Stella Gibson resides, wrote that with me in mind, and had I not done the X-Files, he probably wouldn't have written it with me in mind, so I guess the answer would be no. Oh, that's right. You know what? New York's not that far from Toronto. I know that for a fact in my small brain. And there are still tickets available, so please come. It's a good show.
Hi. I was just wondering, whose idea was it to bring the X-Files back, and how did you react when you found out, and what was it like going back there after so many years?
Well, it wasn't like they said it's coming back and you're coming with us, and I went, oh, okay. It was kind of like they said, we're thinking about this, and my reaction was, oh man, what a bad idea. And initially, because my experience of doing the X-Files was doing 24 episodes, which in my current life living in the UK with 3 children is not a doable thing. I mean, in those days, that took us 9.5 months a year, and this year, our episodes took longer to shoot individually. So we did 6 episodes in 3 months. So what if we did 24, it would have been a whole year, which is just not possible. My initial reaction, also because I was doing a lot of TV at the time, and I like to shake it up a bit with theater and film. And then when I realized, or they said that it could be a small amount, and also at the time when we were starting to talk about it was at the very beginning of networks like Fox opening their minds to the idea of doing shorter amounts. Even at the time when I was doing, I did Crisis, which was 12 or 13 on NBC, that was quite a big leap for them to make, to just do 12 or 13 at that time. That was only a couple years ago. So it's a whole new idea for networks to do short stacks. And so it wasn't until they could agree to do that either that either David or I could commit to it with both of our other commitments. So, yeah, that's my answer. Thank you.
With the original 9-season run, with those longer seasons in terms of number of episodes, X-Files did a great job of balancing the episodic elements with the longer serialized arcs. So this mini-series that we're going to get, these 6 episodes, is it one continuous story in terms of a serialized arc through 6 episodes?
It is not. It is exactly what you used to get, which is there is a couple of comedic episodes, there is a couple of Monster of the Week episodes, and there are a couple of mythological, mythological, mythology, thank you, mythology episodes.
Were you happy about that it was going to retain that kind of DNA of the original in terms of the balance?
Extremely, yeah. I mean, at the beginning are we, because we were at the forefront of new TV back then, and it was the first series that was lit by flashlight, and it was the first, we were a lot of first, having that much money up on the screen, that those big production values on the screen, we were the beginning of that. And so did that mean that what was expected of us was to come back and match that and basically be the new version of how TV should be today? And so when the first episode wasn't that, my first reaction was, man, is this enough? And then the expert in all things, Simon Pegg, said to me, no, what they want is exactly what they got to begin with. It's like comfort food. They want what you originally gave them, and that will be enough. And that's what you're gonna get. Exactly, and I think in all respects. So I think hopefully you guys will be happy. Because that's what it's all about, right? It's making you happy? It is.
Can't wait. Hello there.
Hi. So, everyone knows that your favorite episode of The X-Files is Bad Blood. And I was
Can I tell you
wondering...
something? Sorry to interrupt. Get it out, because I'm sure you're going to ask questions, and I'll interrupt you.
Okay. I was wondering if you are familiar with Taylor Swift's song Bad Blood, and if you think it's worthy of sharing the same title as your favorite episode.
I don't know that song. Would anybody like to sing it for me? Oh, come on.
Taylor Swift is here.
But no. But just because it's not really appropriate for the episode, right? It needs to be Shaft. That needs to be the soundtrack. I mean, so I watched it again recently because I thought, okay, I keep leaving my kids in London to go and shoot this thing in Vancouver, and they have no idea what it is that I'm doing. And so I thought, well, what episode could I show them that is even remotely appropriate in any way, shape, or form as almost 7 and almost 9-year-old? And I thought, ironically, that Bad Blood would be good. Nightmares for a fucking week. That kid with the green eyes, and my 6-year-old, every time my 8-year-old turned the corner, he was like that. And the whole thing of it, like, he jumped like a squirrel across the bed. Oh my God. So now that, like, I've literally tormented them. They are not a fan of the X-Files. It will be 21 and 24 by the time they watch the series again. Completely backfired. Oh my God, they would not shut up, and of course they told their dad that I showed them this. A nightmare. Anyway, that's my story about that.
Still your favorite episode?
Still my favorite. I mean, I'm a good person.
Hi. I was just wondering if you feel that the strong feminist characters that you've played, mainly Stella Gibson, influenced how you played or characterized Blanche?
Not necessarily. Not necessarily. I wanted to do Blanche since I was 16 years old. And so it was very much a dream come true after 30 years of knowing that I wanted to play her. And as much as I felt like I resonated with her inside, I never actually studied her and studied the play before. And so when we started rehearsals for that, it was important to me that I let go of all my preconceptions about who she was and what the play should be, and et cetera, et cetera. There's only one thing that there were two things that I really cared about having helped put the production together, and one was that it be in the round, and the other that it be in the summertime, because I wanted the audience to feel the heat that we would feel in New Orleans. And believe me, both those things happen. So in starting 100% from scratch, as much as one can, really let the director educate me about, and all of us, about the play and the history and the characters and the family and the climate at the time, the political climate, the social climate, the genius of Tennessee Williams and the threads that he weaves in his material. And I feel like she was very much born out of a new idea, not necessarily influenced but by the same token, I am me, I am a feminist, and I am not inject an aspect of that into my version of her, but I don't think that I ever sat on the outside and thought, this is how it needs to be, because in the past she was portrayed in a different way. It was very much an organic and pure path to find her. But obviously, it's me, so that's something to it. But thank you.
Just a quick follow-up to that. I've read that you used to be really into punk music and punk rock. I also love punk. And I always wanted to ask you whether or not your interest in punk and that genre of music kind of informed your ethos and your feminism and kind of what you brought to roles as an actor.
Well, I think that I have an inbuilt intolerance for hypocrisy. And there is an element of that in anarchy and in the punk movement, and there's an element of that in feminism, not just feminism, just people's desire for equality, whether it's race equality or whether it's female equality or pay equality or whatever the fuck it is. It's about the intolerance for what should not be going on in the moment. And so I think that's a lot of what the current feminist movement is about. It's like, enough already. We've been talking about this for so fucking long. We gotta do some things to get things done. I mean, the fact that the Equal Rights Amendment hasn't even been passed, even though it's been, it's all of that stuff. So I'm not, I talk about it when I'm asked about it. I don't preach about it. I talk about it when, specifically in relation to Stella, because it's often a lot of the journalists want to address that issue. But it's a human issue. It is a human issue, equality on this planet. Whether you're Aboriginals, in Brazil fighting for your piece of forest or whatever it is, it's important and vital to humanity existing on this planet as one, as a human race. And so I feel strongly about that, clearly.
Hi. I'm a big fan of The Fall, and I was wondering what it was like working with Cheetah.
Who? Jamie is an incredibly lovely, sweet, hysterically funny guy. He's great to hang around with. He's great to hang around offset. We didn't, as you will know, having watched The Fall, have a lot of opportunity to do that, but we have spent time together doing press and the scenes that we did do, and going out for drinks and stuff. So he's just a lovely, lovely guy. You'll be happy to know. And he has a really good singing voice, which a lot of people don't know. And the women will go, oh, and the guys will go, that too? But he does, Anyway. You're welcome.
Hi there.
Hi. My
Hi.
question is, you have had the privilege of filming in many different countries. Which place has impacted you in the most?
Well, I would say impacted, probably either Africa or India. I've spent a lot of time in both places, not just filming, and they both get under your skin in very, very different ways. I'm about to do another film in India in a couple weeks, and I'm excited for that. I'm excited to be impacted by a culture and by a country, and to learn something new about another place in the world. Have you ever been to either of those places? Because they are, people say when they go to Africa that it is, that it often, they say it gets under your skin and you never forget it. And there's a truism there. And I don't know what that is, but I feel like, I also feel like anytime one is actually truly exposed to how the majority of the world lives, and the majority of the world lives very differently than we live in North America, and anytime one is actually truly exposed to that, it can't help but impact one's life experience and how you see the world from that point onwards.
Thank you. Hey there, just got time for a couple more rounds.
Hi, Jen. Thank you again for coming this weekend. I know I'm super excited to be here.
Thank you for having me.
Sure. I was just wondering how if you could tell us how you prepare yourself for such a raw and emotional performance like playing Blanche, and when you come to New York, if you're going to change your performance at all now that you're in front of a American audience.
I won't change the performance at all. It was we had about 4 weeks to rehearse, which is not a long time for a 3.5-hour play. And also for a complex character like that, but it was down to I'm sure partly my passion for it, but also the genius of our director that we worked with, Benedict Andrews, is just probably one of the best directors I've ever worked with, and just how he takes the cast through the study of the material and the characters. And it's quite daunting in the beginning, as it is with anything in life when you start something new and you know that you're putting yourself out there. I mean, as much as I wanted to play Blanche my whole life, I was absolutely terrified of it. And I have experienced panic attacks in my life and on stage, and assumed that would also be the case with this production. And by the grace of God, it wasn't. And I don't know why that was, but hopefully that will be the same when I'm in. And, oh no, it's not wood. And so with anything, I mean, even with this project that I'm about to jump into, playing a historical character, it's really important for me to do the work in advance, to feel like I've shown up for myself, shown up for the character, that I have it in every cell of my body, and when I feel that I have done that work, then I feel safe. I feel obviously more confident and trusting of my choices. But also, with anything, there is fear. I mean, every first couple of days on any job I find really difficult. No matter even with the X-Files, the first couple of days for me are a certain hell, and I don't necessarily know that I am the character in those 2 days, even if I've been working on it, or even if I've played it for a decade. it takes me a little while to assimilate. And so, you know, I have to imagine on one level, even though it's magnified by being in the public realm, you know, that's a lot of people's experience at the beginning of things. That new things, change, putting oneself out there in the world is a really scary thing. And what I have learned over the years is that by doing it anyway, that I have survived those things. I've thought I would die. I haven't died. You know, I thought I would fail. I haven't failed. And, you know, my version of fail can come in many different ways, but the fact that I have shown myself that I can show up and do things has taught me the next time I want to show up and do things that I can and I have it in me to do it. And I think that's a really important thing. And I think and part of that came out, you know, my mom said that that even as a child, that there was no telling me what to do. That literally she, you know, I was the boss of the household. And, you know, she's right. So I'm sure that gumption and sass has a lot to do with it, but also, you know, I got an aspect of that from her. And so it's a good thing to pass on to our children, especially to our daughters, I think.
Somebody pointed out that your chair is broken. You should want to knock that down. How you doing?
I did, my small brain discovered that.
We unfortunately have to make this the last audience question because we also have an auction to get to. So the last question will be yours, Helen.
Okay. That's another question. Okay. Hi. So first of all, I wanted to thank you for your really confident and outspokenness regarding feminism and how unapologetic you are about it. It means a lot. And for a question, I wanted to ask you, what would your interpretation be of Bedelia and Hannibal's relationship when they were on the run in Florence?
What would be my interpretation of it? Well, I mean, my interpretation is very much what you see on the screen, which is that there was you know, that they were an electric couple. It is duplicitous. It is disturbing. There is a great deal of free-floating fear. There is attraction and sensuality and potentially sexuality there on some level, whether it's in a kiss or a promise or whatever it is. I imagine that they probably had separate bedrooms, but the fact that they had the intimacy that they had, which was you know, pretty intense, especially under the circumstances, was I don't know. It had obviously had a dangerous energy to it, but it filled in so many of the blanks and question marks, just in the fact that she stayed and he let her stay. Is there anything else? You don't have a mic to ask me a question. That might have been done on purpose. What about the last scene? So what did you see? You saw Bedelia sitting at the end of the table with a what on the table? A leg, yeah. And what makes you think I was eating it? I was waiting for a guest. She was waiting for a guest. 3 chairs. Did she cook it herself? All good questions. And so at some point she reached for something. To do what with? What? Maybe? Yeah? Did she look comfortable? Did she look happy? Did She looked like she was looking forward to the meal or what was going to happen next. Yeah, all good questions. But I can tell you one thing, the fork was not to eat the leg. I'll tell you that much. But hopefully, I hear that they're investigating other ways for it to be seen. So, let's hope.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Can't wait till another season of the fall. We have a third season, and of course the X-Files in January 2016. Give you an option before we do on the everyone. Thank you so much for your amazing work and for being here at the Expo. Thank you. I'll do an auction.
So, are you guys interested in that? Yeah. I mean, I should probably start it at $100. That doesn't mean we have to go up in hundreds. But with the 3 signatures in the hat, just so we know what we're talking about, I should probably start there. It can go up in 5s, it can go up in 10s.
We have $100.
120, 150, 160, 200, 300. So far we've got 300 for 350. Very good. One-of-a-kind hat does not exist. Very unlikely that you'll ever get these 3 signatures on one of these hats ever again.
So a quality hat is well
It's
made.
a quality
It's a
hat.
very well-made hat.
It's a very well-made hat.
So you want to go back to the gold?
And it's now been worn by Gillian Anderson.
It's now been worn by Gillian. Still 350. Anybody else want to go higher than 350 for charity? What charity? Well, that depends. I was going to talk to you backstage about, you have 4 options. 400. Yes, and also meeting backstage to talk about what charity you want.
So 400?
400. 425. Here we go. Do we take credit? There would be a way to take a credit card, yes.
So 425?
425, going once.
Oh. 450?
450.
Goodness.
500, yes ma'am. 500, thank you so much. Scully DNA.
I think I just heard 10,000.
Scully DNA on the hat. 500, is that where we're at?
We were at 500?
We were at 500 before the DNA. 600, you said that? Let's see you. All right, 600. 600. 625. Gotta love it. 625. 650. $650 for Scully DNA, a meet and greet, and a hat. With 3 signatures. Okay, going once. Oh! 675. Blue plate special. Huh? Am I jacket too? No. Okay, I think this might be it. 675. 700. Good question.
Mira?
You know what I could do is I could observe you donating directly to the charity, and then it would be gift aid and tax receipt. How about that? 725. Should have said that at the beginning. 725. Gift aid. Tax receipt.
For real?
really appreciate it. Thank you. What was that? What, more Scully DNA? Would you bid above 1,000 if I put more Scully DNA? 1,000, okay. Going once, going twice. Thank you guys so much for, I'm sorry.